Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Israel decided to open up on Iran. We're going to be going over there in just a sec. I'm going to wait for everybody to flow in here because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up repeating a ton of this, but I will start off by telling you this. The Trump administration is coming out saying that they were not involved whatsoever in this. As a matter of fact, we started seeing reports coming out just a couple hours ago that were saying that the U.S. is not going to take part in these strikes, and they were warning Israel not to do it and warn that if you guys end up doing this, you might not be getting support from the United States of America. Well, just I don't know, probably about 30 minutes ago, we started getting reports of bombs and explosions taking place over inside of Tehran. Just a couple minutes ago, I started getting reports of explosions going off over inside of in near Natanz, which is where one of the main nuclear facilities is at. And right before I came in here, the word came out that these shots that were being fired over inside of Tehran, it looked like they were going after officials of the IRGC. I do have what looks like to be a video of a ballistic missile that's en route over to Israel as we speak. So it looks like Iran's probably retaliating. Right now, I'm going to take you guys over to flight radar. We're going to go ahead and put this up on the screen and give you guys kind of an idea for how quick this airspace is filled out. It wasn't that long ago, like I said, about, 25 minutes ago or so when these reports like first started to flow in here. And now what we're seeing is, one, we're seeing all of the radars being scrambled over Tehran. Like, that's just happening. People have been pushed north and south, and that whole area has begun to clear out. So we've got that going on. Camskin, welcome in. Thanks for becoming a true supporter, my friend. So you guys can see that that's taking place right now. Now, it is very, very possible. Let me get this portion up on your screen over here, get this up and running so that you guys can take a look at what we've got going on over inside of Tehran. Obviously, we've got some issues, right? We've got all of these different nuclear sites that are scattered about Iran. And up here in this, like, northwest corner, what's not listed is Mashhad. That is going to be the headquarters for the IRGC Air Force. But all of these are just simply the nuclear sites that are scattered around. The one that I just got reports of that we're going to go ahead and double check on here in a minute is over here in Natanz, and up over here in Tehran is where these strikes reportedly are taking place. Now, this is also a location that the IAEA said that Iran was enriching uranium, or at least they had potential signs that Iran was enriching uranium out of those sites. And so they believe that to be, probably one of the main reasons why that area was being targeted. Are we seeing a start of World War III? We'll find out depending on what's happening. I did get reports that it looked like there was already explosions and or different parts of Israel that were being targeted. We're going to go ahead and get this up on the screen here in just a sec. But so you guys are aware, the IDF did confirm that they started off the launch of Strength of a Lion. And their goal is to take out the nuclear facilities that Iran has. So they're looking at doing that. Now, all of this is going to end up taking a couple days. Right now, over around Tehran, it looks like there was a series of about 5 strikes. And what the word is that these 5 strikes were targeting like the number 2, right? Like basically the guy that goes and sits underneath the Ayatollah. I already forgot his dang name. It's just one of those weird names that I don't care to explain. But let me go ahead and get this up on the screen. Oh boy, here we go. You are right. So one of the initial videos that we ended up seeing coming out of Tehran. Now, interesting enough, right over here in the very beginning of this video, wait for it. There it is. If we were to go back just a little bit, you can see where this strike took place right down over here. And if you kind of make it a little bit bigger, you can see there's this apartment complex, and then right over outside here, literally right outside the apartment complex. Crypt Media, I am not going to even bother with a response to that question right now. Cindy Banks, welcome to become a true supporter. Dalton Wilson, and so it has begun. You are correct, sir. So right over there outside of that apartment complex, what that looks like to me is like a vehicle or something like that that's on fire. And that lends a heck of a lot of truth going over into what we've heard about them going over and targeting the IRGC officers, taking out and literally cutting the head off the snake. Now, also sitting over outside of Tehran, something that I ended up pointing out last night on this stream was that you also have one of their satellite communications facilities that's labeled as like the space launch facility or some crap like that over in Iran. That's going to be one of the key facilities that Israel is going to want to take out to start cutting those communications off as well before they go and start bombing these things. Now, why are they going after these people as opposed to just targeting those sites directly? Because they want to cut the head off the snake. All right, when we start talking about the wide scale that's going to take place here and how long this is likely going to last, you're talking about multiple days. Just got a text from a friend that told me that the folks over in Israel are being told to be prepared to be sheltered in place for about 3 days. So if that gives you an idea, it looks like Israel might be planning to do a continuous bombardment of Iran for about 3 days. Give me 1 sec here. I got some other stuff that's coming in real quick. Let me check on this. As this situation evolves, I'm going to have plenty of other things rolling in. So give me just 1 quick sec. All right, so now let's go ahead and start getting some of these airstrike videos up. And I'm seeing, it looks like reports of about 20 minutes ago outside of Natanz and for Doe. We've got explosions going on over there as well. This was, again, the first initial strike that ended up getting reported. I'll get that up on your screen real quick. Stop it. I'm going to do my best to get to all of the chat comments as you guys are slowly rolling them in over this, but just be advised, this is likely going to get very busy very quick inside here. So I will do my best to keep up with y'all as this is going. Here is one of the pictures that is coming out of Tehran. As you guys can see it right there, you can see smoke rising up over these hillsides, and all of these airstrikes are reportedly going down inside of like very populated civilian-centered areas over inside of Tehran. And people are saying that they're going after the big-time officials. GMV Gaming, did Israel use F-35s or ballistic missile? Thoughts? Very good question, my friend. I doubt they ended up using a ballistic missile. Very high probability that they were using fighter jets to conduct these strikes. Now, if you guys want to do me a favor and help me out on this stream, you can go over to X. You guys got my little X handle right down here in the bottom of the screen. You can tag me in any new videos or any new information that you end up seeing coming out of Iran, and just tag me in that sucker, and I will do my best to screen it as quick as possible and get it up on this, like get it up here on the screen for everybody at home to share. I saw somebody asking for an update over what the heck is happening over inside of Tehran, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you a quick update. Probably about an hour ago, we started getting the initial reports. I know my time frame was a little bit off. I didn't realize how much time had passed. Probably about an hour ago, we started getting reports of explosions taking place over in Tehran, followed by anti-aircraft fire. So we had explosions being reported, then anti-aircraft fire. I saw one report of an explosion taking place over inside of Mashhad, which is in the far northwest corner. And then I've also got them taking place over in Natanz as well, as of about 15 to 20 minutes ago. And that's going to be where their nuclear facilities are. Israel came out and made a statement saying that they have started off a new operation in order to wipe out Iran's nuclear capability. And word on the street over inside of Tehran, I was just listening to it, is that Israel, the first basic like airstrikes that were being launched across Tehran, some of these images of what you're seeing right now, were targeting key leaders from the Iranian regime. Looks like they were actually going after members of the IRGC first and foremost, which, again, I go back to good old Pagergate. I told you guys that Israel's got a hell of a lot more intelligence that's left over from that than what they kind of like lead other people to believe. Let's go ahead and get one of these strike videos up on the screen for y'all. I have no idea why that error is coming up. All right, looks like we're already getting photographs, and I want you guys to know that this is all kind of unconfirmed at the moment as I put these things up on your screen, so please take that with a grain of salt, the way that this information ends up coming out. A lot of times people end up sharing older photos and things of that nature, and the way that this just kind of rolls, it takes some time for me to get up there. But I want to say Clayton for coming over and tagging me on this. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen right now. This is reportedly some of the apartments that ended up getting struck. Now, this does not look like they got hit with some very like large bombs. It actually looks like they got hit with some pretty precision guided munitions, because these buildings are still standing. They only ended up taking out what appears to be a floor. Now, again, this goes back and it solidifies those reports that Israel is going in to cut the head off the snake. So if that is the case, that is likely what we're seeing here, likely what we're taking a look at. Looks like I've got another set of airstrike videos that, let me give Lost Cherokee, ended up coming in and tagging me in. I'm going to get that up on the screen for you guys real quick. Let me get that in here. These things are slowly just going to start pouring in over time. Iran's not exactly known for its like open sharing of media and everything else. This right here that just ended up getting shared, you guys can kind of like see the different explosions and how they ended up being, you know, sent across the city. So I appreciate you tagging me in that video and getting that up there on the screen for the people. Let me get this next one prepared and ready to go for you guys so you can see kind of what the hell's going on over here. Some other images and stuff like that that have been shown from around Tehran. Again, this is just now breaking, so it's going to take a little minute. Tends to take about an hour to 2 hours for a lot of the videos and whatnot to start rolling in. Holy cow, you guys are just going to town on me over here. I appreciate it. Lots of information rolling in. I'm just going to take a second and get some of these stacks, because you guys have a ton that you guys are putting in for me. So I want to make sure that those get up on the screen. I want to make sure that these things actually get kicked out over there. And I appreciate every single person that's continuing to tag me and all of these other things. All right, so it looks like... yeah, that sounds like the right name. Iran's chief of staff may have been eliminated. So it was the chief of staff of Iran, the military, that ended up getting targeted. Appreciate you tagging me in that. Showing me that one. These are some great images. I want to make sure I can get these up on for you guys. You guys are just rolling them in heavy, man. I'm just going to have to go through and just start stacking these suckers in here, get them up on here. Give me just a sec, and we'll get all of this out. Oh my goodness. That sucker is a burning. So it looks like now we can pretty much say it's confirmed that that's exactly what Israel is doing, based off of some of this footage that's coming off the ground, that they were going after the chief of staff. And it looks like they might have actually found their target. It's not going to be known right away whether or not that happened. What I would suspect now that we've got this initial wave of strikes done over inside of Iran, that they are going to slowly start penetrating and working their way in over into some of these different facilities. We should start seeing them bombing some of these nuke facilities as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jackson Hinkle's coming out saying that Israel's a terrorist nation. So let me get some of these up on the screen for you guys real quick. Let me get them opened up, and you guys will be able to see some of the latest and greatest is coming out of Tehran. Like I said, apartment complexes definitely appear like they were being targeted. Here is a couple still images that y'all ended up sharing with me of some of these apartment complexes. We've got some bigger ones that are coming up here in just a sec. Chief of staff of the Iranian army was targeted by Israel, allegedly, along with other key leaders inside of the IRGC. As you can see here, you've got like one particular floor that ends up getting knocked out of the apartment complex. There was reports, though, that I was listening to somebody that was on the ground over in Tehran speaking, saying that there was very large explosions that were taking place, almost like it shook the earth. So it was like very, very big, very serious like explosions that ended up going out over there. Make sure I get some of these comments and some of these super chats that you guys are sending in. Fresh Rex says, hey, Matt, you nailed my message earlier. All love, brother. Been watching you since before you went to Ukraine to train the bros. Me, love you a long time. Thanks for crushing it, my daily. Chaotic Clyde says, heard you going off on X Space earlier. Dude was annoying. Yeah, I hate all those people. Swamp Cleaner. So what happened to the nothing ever happens crowd? I tried telling them that it was going down today. Do Israel use F-35s or ballistic missiles? Thoughts? They are more than likely using F-35s. Now that I've seen these precision strikes, that's exactly what I'm going to say ended up causing this. Small diameter bomb, precision strikes on some of these different locations. Likely a lot of this intel is coming from human intelligence sources on the ground for where they were able to get those, along with, in my opinion, Pagergate and how that ended up going down. Yep. So Israel is vowing to take out Iran's nuclear threat. Let me get this up on the screen.
ساعت الان 3:37 دقیقه ورودی فرحزاده پایین یه ساختمان مسکونی رو زده شده. ساعت الان 3:37 دقیقه ورودی فرحزاده پایین.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely looks like that's what ended up going down over there, targeting these different sites. That's a big boom boom. So somebody just commented down there here. He said, just tagged you in an article of Iran just launched ballistic missiles back. I would go ahead and say that's confirmed because I have, let me see if I can find it real quick. Should be up over here. I've got a video of what appears to be a ballistic missile flying through the sky over in Iraq. It was being reported over outside of Hawija.
هر 15 دقیقه تقریبا بینیان بوا و دنگی زور مترسی داریه دنگی زور عجیبیه 15 دقیقه يعني هو 15 فروقي كده تبريون هر 15 دقيقه يقرويو.
That's not the particular video I was looking for. Give me a second. There it is. Let me get this up here. I don't know why they have that. Same general vicinity here. It looks like, again, this is being reported over Hawija, Iraq. So this is likely going from west to east, going from Iran towards Israel. So yeah, I would be expecting some ballistic missile strikes taking place over inside Israel pretty soon. Time of flight generally is about 10 to, I have to go look at it. I forget. I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes, something like that, for it to get from Iran over into Israel, depending. And so there's very possible that some of those have already been shot down and or intercepted. Likely you can get some of those videos. If you guys have tagged me in them, give me just a sec. I'm going to get those suckers up on the screen. This is always what ends up happening is a lot of the information ends up rolling out after I go live. So imagine that. So I'm going to take some of these and start putting them up on the screen. Again, reports of some of those ballistic missiles going out. Iran now has, and it looks like they are scrambling fighter jets. So give me a sec while I get this up. Looks like Iran is now scrambling fighter jets. Amanda, appreciate you putting me in that one. And let me see that. Let me keep going back. I got to continue to work my way through all this crap. You guys have so many that I'm being freaking tagged in. Let me get this up here and get these on the screen for you guys. For those of you who are just now joining us or are just now joining the stream, it has been confirmed, Israel admitted that they ended up launching these airstrikes over at Tehran. And it looks like they had targeted the chief of staff of the Iranian military and several other members of the IRGC that they're taking out. So if that is the case, Iran's not going to be very happy. Just had up on the screen an image of a ballistic missile that was shot over Israel. If you guys want to do me a favor and you guys do see things that you think are relevant that you want to see on the screen, go ahead, tag me in them over on X. I'll do my best to get them up and on the screen for you guys so that we can get those rolling. And get those being seen. So let me go ahead and get this next image up on the screen for you guys. Let me get these pulled up. Got several other ones that I'm going to be putting up. This is allegedly Iranian fighter jets that are taking off from Western Iran. Likely this is going to be coming out of Mashhad, going over to start going after Israeli planes. There they go. I see GMV Gaming coming in saying that Israeli Telegram has reported that Israel used about a dozen jets in this strike. Appreciate you for sharing that information with us. Eric Scrigley, U.S. and Israel are attacking it finally. Insert name here says, with this happening, do you think the protests will be a target for terror attacks? Yeah, I actually do. Believe it or not, I do. I think that those protests very likely could be a massive target for terrorist attacks because what they can look at doing, and he's talking about these protests that are coming up on Saturday. I was actually fixing up a video and a report for you guys on that. These terror attack or these protests that are taking place on Saturday is a very good possibility that that is what will be targeted to try to sow more discourse in the United States of America over here. So be prepared for that. Runosaur says, can we not gift memberships anymore? The button seems to be missing. Thanks as always. Dang it, Runosaur, why you got to be freaking spending money on me? Rhino, what flight radar look like? That's a very good question. Let's go over and take a look at flight radar. When the strikes initially had kicked off over inside of Iran, there was still a buttload of aircraft that were taking place. I ended up sticking on one airplane in particular just because I wanted to see. whether or not they are diverting aircraft. And as you can see, this one right here, it was tracking south to go into Iran, got diverted, it's back, flying back to the north again. Looks like it was heading over there. But when we go and we look at Iran in general, it looks like all the air traffic is now being pushed to the western side of the country. For those of you that are just now joining us, I'll put it up on the screen here in a minute. But the bulk of those nuclear facilities that we are aware of are all, generally speaking, in this region right here that I'm circling with the cursor. Let me go ahead and get those suckers up on the screen. Well, you know what? Before we do that, let's go and take a look over at Israel. And it is correct. Israel's airspace appears to be cleared out as well. Let's see what we have flying over top of Jordan right now, because some of those ballistic missiles should be making their way back over towards Israel. Looks like all these guys are grounded. They're not going to go anywhere. We've likely got a lot of freaking fighter jets that are being scrambled up over top. That guy took off. Oh, just made it, man. Imagine being on that flight. Just made it, buddy. Just made it. All right, let me get this up on the screen to show you guys where these nuke sites are located over inside of Iran, where they're going to be going after. I'll run back through the stack, give you guys a bunch more information of what's actually been going on over there here in just a sec. Let me make sure I can find that. Let me get it. Here we go. So this is to give you an idea of where all of those nuclear facilities are located over in Iran. Israel said that they are, in fact, going after their nuke facilities. USA has denounced and said that we are not going to be assisting in this and that Israel did this on their own. Tom Bone says, do you think Israel asked for permission or forgiveness? They 1000% asked for forgiveness. I don't even think they asked for forgiveness. I just think they went ahead and targeted it. Orion the Raptor says, time to sign up for Vault Tech Vault, folks. Yeah, maybe. Might want to get that. I don't even know what Vault Tech Vault is, but sure, go for it, man. Yep, and so that gets us caught up on those chats. Let me get back over here and start running through some of these images of what we are seeing. So right now it looks like that the initial strikes that were taking place were over inside of Tehran, targeting apartment buildings and going after key leadership of the IRGC. Israel came out, over a dozen aircraft, it looks like, have been used in this initial first wave. Now, it's important to remember that Israel doesn't exactly have a lot of aircraft ability. Like, these F-35s can refuel about halfway through. Matter of fact, when I was looking at this, it was said that, who was I talking to? Colonel Jeff. Colonel Jeff is the one that I think actually told me last year that for the F-35s to make it there and back, they basically have to refuel on their way back, going over towards Israel at some point in time. So somebody is helping out with that refueling effort, whether or not it be the United States or anybody, I don't know. All right, looks like we have a new statement that came out from Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me grab that and get it up on the screen for you guys, particularly about this operation and what took place. And we've got some other images and videos and stuff like that that I'm going to end up putting up on the screen for you guys.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel.
I'm going to pause Netanyahu for a minute as he's giving this speech and this quick update on what's going on over there and let you guys know that it does look like 100% that they did, in fact, target the Natanz nuclear facility. And I'm getting new reports that I want to get up here on the screen real quick, and then we're going to go back to Netanyahu that are showing even more ballistic missiles that were launched over at Israel. So if you're in Israel, I'd be expecting time on target pretty dang quick of these suckers going off.
خیلی بودن میدونی نمیتونی دقیق
الان نزدیک 30 تا
رد شده
All right, now, see, now it makes me kind of want to like question that video real quick, because what I want to take a look at over here, flight radar ends up tending to show it, and it in fact does. So when we go and we take a look at it, what you can see is you can see that the sun is actually starting to crest the horizon over there, rising over Iran and slowly starting to come over Iraq, and pretty soon will be taking place over inside Jordan. So that does in fact look like maybe that is an updated video, just to let you guys know of those ballistic missiles being shot over at Israel. So let me know if you guys are in Israel, if you're watching over from Israel, let me know if you guys are getting reports of any impacts or any of those things going off, so I can start looking into that and get that up on the screen for you. In the meantime, let's go back to Bibi and his statement.
Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000s of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program.
Whoa. Netanyahu just said, long live America. He's just sucking the USA into this, even though Trump said we're out of it. But I think the USA is likely helping out with some of these aerial refueling. Just so you guys know, I got new strike videos and stuff like that coming up that we're going to be playing here right after Netanyahu gets done with his speech. You got about 2 minutes left of it.
He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears.
So we've got some new strikes coming in over inside of Tehran right now. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over there. I'm going to pause BB because you guys aren't going to want to miss this. It's just not worth me even like delaying it just a second longer. Let me go ahead and get these up. I want to thank everybody that's helping me out over on X, tagging me in some of these videos for me to be able to clear out. I'm going to take you over to some of these nuke sites. I'm going to also show you guys some new videos. Already ended up getting taken down, I see. Take you guys to some of these new videos of these strikes that are going on over inside of Tehran. Let me get this one up right now. No audio in this video, but you guys can see just the absolute level of pounding that's coming in out there. Holy freaking cow. I don't know if this is a new video or not. I just want to let you guys know, unconfirmed right now, what is currently up on your screen. This is unconfirmed strikes going on over inside of Iran as we speak. Looks like a new round possibly of strikes that are taking place over there. And the aftermath of some of these, just so you guys are aware. As we just heard Netanyahu say, they were going after several of their nuclear scientists, and then also reports of some of the key leadership that was going out there. Now it looks like we've got more ballistic missiles that are being shot out as we speak, going over towards Israel, more than likely from Iran. Yep. So Iran is now stating a second wave of Air Force attacks at several strikes or several sites across Iran. I'm getting reports coming in of strikes taking place over inside of Isfahan, as well as over in Natanz. It's not going to surprise, like, I'm not going to be surprised. I got some of the strike videos that are coming up from Natanz that should be here in just a sec. This is a image of the Natanz nuclear site that is pretty far south of Tehran. I'll get that up here on the map in just a second for you guys so you can see where that's at. But they are freaking blasting away at it. I want to be able to get some of these other images up on the screen for you guys so you can see. Here we go. Here's a great video. Let me get this one up. Again, reportedly, this next one is the Natanz nuclear facility. Well, clearly that's not Natanz. That looks like downtown Tehran, just to FYI for everybody that's watching. GA coming in, gifting out a Speak the Truth membership. Greatly appreciate you. Let me tear through some of these super chats and let this video roll for a sec up here on the screen. Let's see here. Hearing lots of distance boom here from Tower 22 in Jordan. Great. Great. Keep your head down, brother. Patrick Loudon, I imagine Ukraine is happy about this as well. Well, Ukraine should be extremely happy about this because hopefully, well, I don't know, because Israel's the one doing the striking, not so much the United States. But at the same time, Israel going and knocking out some of these Shahed drone factories and all that other crap might actually be doing, Ukraine a favor. Sky God came in gifting out 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Sun Wukong, the tubes is preventing my laminations. Take a membership instead. Appreciate you, brother. Pick becoming a brand new true supporter, and Lethal Old Fart just says great coverage. Appreciate you there, Lethal Old Fart. Corsa Blue, yeah, Israel Chai. Say it loud, Matt. I am Israel Chai. With the possibility of chaos this weekend, I'm not going anywhere in large groups. James, that is a very, very good idea. I wouldn't be going anywhere, but I'm going to because it's my job, over to some of these different locations. Here's another statement that's coming out from the Israelis.
For years, the Iranian regime has called for the destruction of the State of Israel, planning and advancing concrete military plans to do so. Over the past few months, intelligence has shown that Iran is closer than ever to obtaining a nuclear weapon. This morning, the IDF began preemptive and precise strikes targeting the Iranian nuclear program in order to prevent the Iranian regime's ability to build a nuclear bomb in the immediate time frame. We have no choice. We are operating against an imminent and existential threat. We cannot allow the Iranian regime to obtain a nuclear weapon that would be a danger to Israel and the entire world. This operation is for our right to exist here, for our future, and for our children's future. The State of Israel has the...
Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. What I am seeing right now is it looks like Noah Berg actually ended up putting this out. Normally she puts out very reliable information. I follow her, I suggest you would too, that it looks like the Iranian president may have been targeted in one of these strikes. So now that is unconfirmed, but it looks like Israel may have possibly targeted the Iranian president. He hasn't even been there that long, if you guys don't remember from last year, or the mysterious helicopter crash. Incog Faraday coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you. Tom Bone says, Steel Rain. Justin Holland, welcome to becoming a true supporter, man. Glad to have you along.
The right and the obligation to operate in order to protect its people, and will continue to do so. The IDF conducted significant preparations for this operation. We are well prepared, both in defense and offense, to defend ourselves. The IDF will continue to defend the State of Israel.
All right, and with that, I'm going to take you guys over. We've got some new videos that just came in. This allegedly is Natan's. Let me get this up on the screen for you guys. This video is a little bit reminiscent of what I saw last time, but looking at the light on the skyline, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably current. So I'm going to go with probable current video of the Natan's nuclear facility. This is actually what that area looks like, which is why I said in that earlier video, nope, that's not Natan's. This is, though. And I know this from watching the strikes on the last one. There's a huge standoff distance around Natanz, and there's lots of buildings that are actually out there. So Israel would have to be slamming this sucker pretty hard because there is a lot of locations over there where they have this. Let me get this up on your screen real quick. Yeah, it looks like Natanz, it is now being like confirmed numerous times over that the Natanz facility did in fact get targeted. MiG-29s are taking off, and we now have reports of a second wave of strikes to catch everybody up to par with what's going on. It looks like, all right, it looks like just a couple hours, or I'm sorry, about an hour and a half ago, I'm starting to lose track of time, we got reports of the first wave of strikes that were taking place over inside of Tehran. There was at least 5 explosions that I was aware of that were taking place. That wave of attacks looks like it targeted Iranian leadership from the IRGC. Now we're getting reports that possibly the Iranian president was targeted in that attack as well. If he got taken out, that's a very big deal. Iran is going to respond freaking hard to that, which we are getting reports of ballistic missiles. Tower 22 over inside of Syria. We also got reports of loud booms being heard in the distance. So it is possible that U.S. military bases could be coming under attack right now. Andrew Gagner says, so can we finally admit how overrated the S-400 is? Thanks for putting in the work, brother. Yeah, thanks, man. So it's unconfirmed that the S-400s were over inside of Iran, that Russia actually gave those to Iran. We do know that they had the S-300s, and it is one of those things that the S-400s are a little bit overrated, but at the same time, there's a reason we didn't want Turkey to have the S-400s and the F-35s, because they do have other tech that's in there. So, yeah, I greatly appreciate it. I thank every single one of you that's in here pouring in some donations tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second round of strikes that's being reported across Tehran right now. Looks like the same video that we ended up getting from earlier, where you can just see these freaking just hammering down on them. Absolutely hammering down. Wow. That's a lot. I would not be surprised if there was not just massive waves of some of these ballistic missiles going in there. Flowmaster coming in with 5. He says, I'm shocked about how many protests are happening here in Wyoming on the 14th. Half the country thinks that we don't exist. Yeah, brother, you're talking about when I was in there earlier, they had 40,000 people signed up to hear their briefing on what was taking place. Take you guys back over to the Natanz real quick, and then I'm going to run you guys back through all the different clips and stuff that we have coming out of Iran. Sun Wukong says, Matt, I'm a Jewish jarhead. From all of the Jews, God bless you for standing with honesty and the truth. Hey, man, greatly appreciate that. I really, really do. It's kind of hard these days. I'm not even Jewish, and I feel like I am Jewish just from the amount of people that come after me on a daily basis. The amount of times I've been accused of being Jewish is absolutely ridiculous. Not that there's anything wrong with being Jewish. More power to you, man. All right, so yep, new wave of strikes as we just had them up on the screen. This is going to be the second one. Reports in Isfahan, reports taking place over inside of Natanz, and reports of the Iranian president may have actually been taken out in that first round of strikes. That's probably that really nice apartment building that I ended up having up on the screen. You guys have to forgive me with the amount of stuff that I have. It's going to be kind of hard to put up, but as you guys can see, we've got lots of apartments that were actually targeted in these strikes. I love how they're all just standing around, like picking their freaking nose. Like, bro, get somewhere else. Like, don't stand there. There's a reason these places end up getting targeted. Look at that freaking building, man. It looks like they knocked a whole freaking chunk of that building off, going after whoever it was they were going after. So if they are taking out the Iranian president, yeah, dude, easily that is a huge freaking hit to Iran, of them going over there and getting after it. So I mean, if that's the case, Israel's got a lot coming after it. This is probably over in the center of Tehran, unconfirmed where this video ended up coming out of, but you can take a look at some of that destruction. This is likely following that second wave of strikes, because that first wave of strikes, we didn't see so much like that on the ground as far as like that level of smoke and whatnot that was taking place. So more than likely now that it was. Secretary Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, says, tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interest or personnel. You bet your freaking pantyhose that if that ends up happening, if Iran does end up targeting U.S. personnel, that we will answer back. Mr. Steelio Blacks says, please open it up to foreign war vets, a Canadian war vet. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the chat? AP Payne coming in, gifting out 10 Speak the Truth memberships. I would open up the chat right now, but unfortunately with the amount of information that's rolling in, honestly, it's just too much for one man to handle, to be perfectly honest with you. That's a lot of information that you're asking me to consume at one time. Let's take a look at some of the destruction on the ground over inside of Tehran. Matt, good to see you back. He says, been a minute back. U.S. troops need to take cover 100%. I think they've already been warned. Looks like they're putting it out. I saw somebody in the chat saying that preemptive strikes were illegal. That's not the case at all. That's not how that works. It's not how self-defense works. That's not how international law works. If Israel had valuable intelligence that Iran was fixing to strike them, which it's not that hard to figure out. I showed videos of the Ayatollah leading a crazy freaking Iranian chant earlier this week, screaming death to America, death to Israel, talking about blowing Israel off the face of the map. Iran came out just 2 days ago with reports of a brand new ballistic missile that they said that they have successfully tested. And the reason that's so important is because it carries a 2-ton warhead, which is a pretty big deal when you're talking about moving that amount of crap in between Iran and Israel. Here's some ballistic missile outgoing shots coming from Tehran.
Allahu Akbar. چه صدایی گوشت کجاست میشه که صداش که اومد به به اینا شنا اینا هاشش الله اکبر خدای شکرت یه دونه دیگه به به کجاست صدا رو داریم این تاثیر اینجاست.
Tom Bones is asking, is it safe to assume that they targeted the Ayatollah? I have no doubt that if they had the coordinates for the Ayatollah, they would have targeted him. That would have pissed off a lot of Shia Muslims around the world. But solid probability, if they knew where the Ayatollah was at, yeah, they probably went after him. I would not put that past Israel whatsoever. Seems like a pretty good step up for Israel to do, to go after the Ayatollah. I would, if I was Israel, I would definitely try to take out the Ayatollah. Let's see here. This is Iran launching some jets, taking off. Some of their MiGs heading outbound. Yeah, chances are the Ayatollah is hiding off in a bunker somewhere. I would agree with that, whoever just commented that. Jaffo Actual says, is the U.S. involved in refueling Israeli aircraft? If so, aren't we involved? Yeah, if we actually did help refuel Israel's aircraft, yeah, we would most likely be involved. We had refuelers that were actually in the sky yesterday that we saw taking off out of Saudi Arabia. And to my knowledge, I heard, I'd have to go back and double check, did hear that Israel didn't have the ability to refuel. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think they do. I could be wrong there. Laval Patton coming in says, Godspeed and pray. Right. And these ballistic missiles that are being shot likely, or we should be getting some new stuff coming out of Tel Aviv sometime soon. That's what Iran ended up going after. What I'm about to put up on your screen is the first wave of strikes. For those of you that are just coming in, this would be the first wave of strikes that Israel ended up launching. As you can see, all of the smoke coming from these rows of apartments over here, and not allegedly, we now know, it looks like that Israel was targeting a key leadership of the Iranian regime. Reports of the chief of staff of the military ended up getting taken out. Also reports that Israel in this round of strikes was also targeting the president of Iran itself. Okay, I want to get this up on your screen right now because it looks like the Paran Shahar military base was attacked. Let me get that up on the screen right here. And that is another big deal if they're going after these, and that's a hell of a video. Russ Senator, good job, brother. Thank you for grabbing that and bringing that up to everybody's attention. So, this place looks like it is too, God dang it, I already just lost it. Yeah, they're blasting the hell out of it. Let me get this next thing up on the screen here. Sorry. Been trying to multitask, read comments. It's just one of those things that you get used to over time. Yeah, this is going to be west of Azerbaijan. So this is that same location, that video that I just ended up putting up on the screen. This is going to be a still image coming out after it. Somebody says Sheesh S400. Damn, haven't we seen this video before? Oh my God, it's Friday the 13th. Yeah, some of these videos do look rather similar to some of the ones I've seen before, which is why I always caution and throw that out there that, hey, this is new information that's rolling out. Not everything I'm putting up on the screen has been confirmed. Flowmaster 5001 coming in with 5. He says, if Israel was to strike the Ayatollah, that would be the first strike before he could get to a bunker. Yeah, I mean, I would think that the Ayatollah would have been one of the first ones that they'd be going after in that. Somebody's asking, you know, is this video phosphorus? No, it's not necessarily phosphorus that could be cooking off over in here. You guys are referring to this right up over here on the screen. Let me get that up and let it kind of play. So you guys see that going out. That could be several different things. That could be like an electrical substation. That could also be different munitions that are slowly cooking off over time. That's not necessarily white phosphorus. It could also be storage of like precursors for munitions. It could be all sorts of different things that could be going off. Rocket engines. Yeah, exactly. there's a million different things that this could possibly be. Not saying what it is or what it isn't. There's a million different things. I'm sure that information is going to come out here in a little bit. I watch these videos all the time, blowing plenty of shit up in my day. And even when I see some of these videos, they're rather hard to figure out what exactly it is that we're taking a look at. Strikes going across Iran. This is the second wave of strikes. So likely now, if that military infrastructure is getting hit, we are seeing a third wave of strikes now coming in from Israel. All quiet in Israel at present, according to Brian McDonald. That's good. That means those aerial defense systems are doing a good job. I know we ended up moving a lot. Like I said earlier, hell, what was it, like over a month ago, the U.S. ended up moving entire Patriot battalion over across CENTCOM, which means that they're going to have all sorts of aerial defense systems scattered across the Middle East. Tom Bones says, it was my understanding of Iran that the president was the political leader, the Ayatollah was the religious leader, which means the Ayatollah is the one who's in charge. That's basically, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty accurate statement. The Ayatollah controls the IRGC, which would be the little terrorist militant wing as declared by the United States of America. So I won't put that past either. Let's go back over here and take a look at flight radar real quick. See if any of the Iraqi airspace has started to clear out, which, son of a gun, it absolutely has started to clear out. You can see the airspace clearing up over Baghdad. I'm trying to remember where Hawija at, or no, Hawija is all the way up here. And so that report, the first report I ended up seeing of the ballistic missile flying overhead was right up over here in this general area, just north of Kirkuk, coming out of there. Tower 22 up over inside Jordan. You guys are like somewhere over in this region, if I remember correct, where Tower 22 is at, up over here in this corner. And somebody in the chat said that they were over at Tower 22 and heard some explosions going off in the distance. Likely, if you're hearing explosions in the distance over at Tower 22, you're looking at interceptions of either cruise and or ballistic missiles that have been fired by Iran at Israel, all of that stuff being intercepted. Kenneth says, with the U.S. moving non-essential workers out of the region days before, would the U.S. intelligence have warned the Trump admins about this beforehand? I think Bibi actually went ahead and warned the United States that they were going to do this anyways. We probably came back and told them, hey, man, we're going to try one more time. If you could just not, that'd be great. Israel probably got sick of it and just went ahead and launched a strike anyway, let the U.S. know. That would be my assumption. Andrew Gagner. So I guess the nuke talks are off for Sunday. Yeah, that's a pretty strong possibility. It's a very strong possibility, although maybe they'll still continue to take place. I highly doubt it. I don't really see those happening. Matt's rock hard. I'm not rock hard right now, man. This shit doesn't necessarily get me off. It just kind of is what it is. It's my job, right? And I look at these things. I've been forecasting this for a while. Trump has been putting it off for a very long period of time, so it doesn't surprise me. Give you guys an idea of where these nuke sites are at. Over there right now, we've got reports in Isfahan and Natanz, and I also heard Fordo ended up getting hit as well, although I haven't seen anything coming out of Fordo yet. But I did hear that the Fordo site ended up getting hit. Now, that is a new site that Iran ended up turning back on today, turning on more reactors and all that other crap today in response to everything else. All the strikes that were taking place up over outside of Tehran likely were targeting those political officials or the key leaders in top of the IRGC. I doubt that Iran will be around on Sunday. Yeah, I got a feeling that the people that pulled the strings likely ended up getting schwacked tonight. Engineer Ed telling me thanks for what you do. Let me go back in here, make sure I didn't miss any of your guys' chats or comments that you guys have for me. Want to keep a close eye on this region. More than likely, this is going to be going on all the time. Cat Clyde said that video with the strobe effect in the fire was high voltage electricity. That's what I said. It very likely could be electricity, things, or electrical facilities, things of that nature. Did anybody pants check me? No, nobody has pants checked me yet today. So thanks for bringing that up. Do I need to get pants checked? No. It's what? I don't even know it. Freaking 8:35 Central. Nah, man. Pants are on, brother. Trust me on that one. 8 Iran jets lost against Israel jets. I'm not seeing any reports of that coming out just yet, or anything confirmed of that nature. But if they did end up launching jets, there's a good chance that they have been taking them out. But I feel like those F-35s ended up launching those strikes and then probably got out of there, followed by a decent wave of ballistic missile attacks and everything else. Who is tagging me in my own post? Who does that? Who tags me in my own post? Let me grab this and get this up on the screen real quick. This looks like a good video to play. Give me 1 sec. Need to get this up here.
Something I just heard from a senior Israeli official who says that according to Israeli assessments, there are very high chances that the entire Iranian general staff, including the head of the Iranian general staff of the Iranian military, and several senior Iranian nuclear scientists were all eliminated in the Israeli strikes tonight. I hear that again from a senior Israeli official who says that several senior top Iranian military commanders, including the head of the general staff of the Iranian military and senior nuclear scientists, have all been targeted in those strikes. And according to IDF assessments, there's a high chance that they've been eliminated.
I mean, that is.
All right, Sung Wukong, you want to pants check me? Look, I've got my pants on tonight, friend. I've got them on. Trust me. Now, that's some pretty big news coming out. If Israel is assessing that they ended up having good effects on target for that general staff, you are going to see a huge retaliation coming out of Israel. That's going to be a very, very decent retaliation coming out of there. Willis says, kind of off subject, but the mass protesters in Seattle last night were chanting Allah Snakbar. You are correct. I saw the Hold My Quran crowd rolling through there. There wasn't that many of them, though. There was just a couple of them. I think I saw like 3 or 4 of them chanting takbir. So, yep, that's what's going on over there. So that's what's taking place right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think, oh, God, here we go again. Sun is now coming up. And let's take a look at some of these new images coming out of Tehran. Now that the sun's up over there, let me get that up on the screen for you guys real quick. I'm surprised that we have not heard any attacks or explosions taking place over inside of Israel at this moment in time. I would have thought for dang sure some of those ballistic missiles would have made their way. That is freaking nuts that it hasn't yet. All right, Rustinator coming in strong tonight, providing us some of these videos. Yeah, dang, man. Yeah, they definitely were going after key leadership. We've seen Israel do this over inside of Beirut. This is the first time that we're actually seeing this take place over inside of Iran. So, I mean, that's one hell of a targeted strike, taking out very specific floors. That's going to be like, 250-pound small diameter bombs, very, very small bombs, in order to target those guys to go over there and get that. So that's, dang, man. Dang, they might have got him. Rhino says, it's crazy to think Israel knew exactly where all of the leaders are and kept tabs on them. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. I'm seeing reports of Mossad activity taking place deep over inside of Iran, so that's exactly how that works. Running human intelligence sources, keeping tabs on people, knowing where and when they're at. That's probably a lot of the trigger criteria that, like I said, Israel would be waiting on for these strikes, is taking out that key Iranian leadership. Rhino says, it's crazy to think Israel knew exactly where they all were. Yep. I just answered the same question twice. Good job, Matt. Time to slow down. Holy freaking crap. Wow. And I don't even know why I'm entertaining this question that ended up popping up in the chat, but I'm going to entertain it anyway. Somebody's asking me if I wear pants. The answer is yes, I do in fact wear pants. It just kind of depends on when I'm going to be wearing them. So yeah, please. Yes, I wear pants. Let me sign into this account real quick. I don't know why it's not working. You know what? Screw that. I'll just do it over here. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is going freaking nuts. Oh, look at that. Rob finally texted me back. Oh, Robert. Robert just texted me. Yeah, they're striking Israel pretty damn hard. Or I'm sorry, they're striking Iran pretty hard. Let me get this back up over on the screen for you. Oh, it's fun. I'm sitting here going live. I got Rob text me again. Everybody's coming alive. Everybody's coming alive. Imagine that. Who is this? Why are you tagging me in that? All right, let me get this up on the screen. All right. So open source intel just put out that Israeli Air Force is currently striking heavy water facilities in Iraq. These are for nukes. Nordo, I want to appreciate you for tagging me in that. That definitely flew under my radar. I didn't see that as I was over here doing all that. Axios is reporting the Mossad carried out a series of sabotage operations inside of Iran as the military was conducting airstrikes. Well, that's freaking wild. Can't believe that's actually going down. So Mossad's actually going over there targeting people. Iranian TV, the Revolutionary Guard headquarters has been hit over in Tehran. All be damned. looks like the IRGC headquarters just got hit in Tehran. Let me look for some of this information real quick so that I could get that up on your screen if that's in fact rolling in. Orangutan Squid, hey Matt, would appreciate some analysis of what you think Iran's retaliation could be. I think as soon as Iran gets it together, yeah, no problem, man. That's actually an easy one to do. So with all of this leadership being taken out over inside of Tehran, particularly the head of the snake, like a lot of the IRGC leadership, the president, possibly, I haven't heard crap about the Ayatollah yet, so if you've heard anything about that, let me know. But with that being said, it's going to take them a minute, but they likely already have standing orders on what to do. Now, yesterday, Iran ended up launching a military drill / exercise. Okay. And likely what they were doing for this military drill or exercise was actually preparing and getting ready for this attack to come up and take place. So it would be my assessment that within the next hour, we're going to likely see a very large barrage going over, being directed at Israel. Bo Williams coming in, giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Also, something else that's likely going to take place is you're going to see coming out of the West Bank. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing some terror attacks coming out of the West Bank being directed by the IRGC as well. That would surprise me. Yeah, do you think we're going to help Israel strike Iran soon? All of that depends on whether or not the U.S. military installations were actually attacked by Iran. Right now, I don't have anything yet. I'm not seeing any of that. So I haven't heard any reports yet of U.S. military installations getting attacked, but it is possible that it did in fact happen. This is a good video, looks like, coming out of Tehran. Give me 1 sec. Let me get this up here for you. Going over some of the damage actually that's out there. Wow, man. I'm already getting burnt out. I just started, man. I haven't been ripping this freaking hard in quite a while. Let me get this video up on the screen. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? Nope. I'm glad I wasn't in there. Yeah, frickin' Tehran, man. That place is just going to keep getting frickin' schwacked and slammed. All right, well, let's see here. If they ended up striking the IRGC headquarters, I'm not seeing any reports of it. I'm looking for that right now as all of this is coming in. See if I can't find the IRGC HQ getting hit. Up. And possibly here it is. Let me get this up. I take that back. Looks like we might have a video of the IRGC headquarters. Hey, stop that. I didn't tell you to speak. Looks like we have a video coming in, potentially, of the IRGC headquarters. Again, I'll just let you guys know, all of this is unconfirmed as we end up putting this out, but reports of the explosions taking place over there. If that is the IRGC headquarters that's on fire in this video, that is not good for Iran at all. I mean, at all. Holy freaking crap balls. Let me get this sucker up and on the screen. What the hell is this? Give me a second to read this. Oh, that's a much older video. That's not accurate. See, that's why I've got to take a second real quick just to go over and assess this. Let me double check. Here we go again. Iran State TV news channel ticker, unverified reports indicate that Hassan Salami, commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, has been killed. So looks like Iran State TV is saying that it is possible that Salami ended up getting killed. That's freaking insane that they actually ended up getting his ass. Smeet Knight says, do you have a prediction on if this will go nuclear? Ooh, that's a very good question. If this ends up going nuclear, I don't know, to be honest with you. I was talking to Space earlier and kind of got presented with the exact same question on whether or not this is going to go nuclear. And I think some of the sites that Israel is going to be targeting over the next, 72 hours. For those of you who are unaware, it looks like people over inside Israel got told to be prepared to shelter in place for the next 72 hours. If that is the case, that they're going to be bombing the crap out of them for that long, the question is, does Israel have the same capabilities that the United States does of having those nuclear bunker busters? If that's the case, yeah, I think that they would end up employing them in order to get rid of them, although Israel does not have a first strike option when it comes to their nuclear capabilities, or so I've been told. Brent Yo Endo, thoughts on AIPAC bragging about owning 330 seats in Congress and Epstein being an Israeli asset? I didn't see anything about AIPAC bragging about Epstein being an Israeli asset. Or are you just saying, yeah, it is? Look, AIPAC is an American, all right, American political affiliated, whatever the hell you call them, lobbyist group. This is totally off subject for me. So I really could care less about whether or not AIPAC is sponsoring 330 seats inside there. Rhino says, Matt, I know you're filtering a lot of info, but another flight radar would be great. That I can do for you. I don't mind having flight radar up on the screen. That gives me a lot to filter out, as a matter of fact. Gives me a chance to actually look at things. So let's go ahead and go back and take a look at flight radar. Last time I took a look at this, yeah, airspace over Iraq is definitely clearing up, and all of Iran appears to be completely and totally freaking cleared out at this point. So this is what we ended up seeing last year as Iran was firing their massive salvo over at Israel. Looks like Israel just called up all reserve troops. That's insane if that actually is true. Mustard with your salami, Sammy? Yeah, exactly, man. So here we've got all of this airspace being cleared out. I think what I'm going to end up doing, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to take a brief break here for a little bit. That way I can go and start collecting some more information. I have no doubt that we're about to see a ballistic missile barrage that's going to be launched sometime in the near future over at Israel. So if that does in fact go down, I want to make sure that I have all of my ducks in a row and have all of that information out here for you guys, because what's going to end up happening is we're going to have a buttload more going up over into Iran. Before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm able to kind of clear out and make sure that we don't have anything else. So to give you guys a quick rundown of what we've seen so far, the how do I want to say this? There's multiple waves of airstrikes that ended up taking place over inside of Iran. First ones ended up coming in, targeting the IRGC Commander-in-Chief Salami. It is now being reported that there is a high probability that he ended up getting killed. Then we have reports of the Iranian president being targeted. If that's the case, we're going to see a significant, between Salami being killed and the Iranian president, if that ends up being confirmed that he was killed, we're going to see a significant retaliation from Iran due to this strike. We also have multiple reports coming in of the Natanz facility, the Isfahan facility, and several others that have been struck by Israel, and the IRGC headquarters that ended up getting taken out in Israeli airstrikes. It's also being reported that Mossad was running sabotage operations over inside of Iran as all this was going down. We have seen multiple ballistic missiles being fired out of Iran. However, we don't have any confirmed hits so far going up over in Israeli airspace. But what we do know from somebody that reported it in the chat, so one of the true supporters down in the chat ended up stating it, was that they are hearing explosions from inside Jordan over at Tower 22, which if I was to put that up on the screen, it would be right down over here in the tri-border region, just on the other side of the border, if I remember correctly. That's where it's at. That they ended up hearing lots of explosions taking place. Now, those are likely going to be interceptions of either cruise missiles and or ballistic missiles and or drones that Iran possibly shot out at them. MT coming in says, I've noticed that the NATO provoked Russia folks don't see Iran as provoking Israel or the U.S. The same Iran whose leader said death to America is a policy and riot and not just a slogan. Weird how that works. Yeah, you know, it's kind of weird how people decide to pick and choose the dumbest things that they'll want to go after. If Salami is dead, would that make him cold cuts? No, right now I'd say he's probably pretty crispy. I would say Salami's pretty crispy, man. That's what I would go for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give myself a quick break. I will be back here in just a little bit to bring you guys some more updates, get caught up on everything that's going out. Oh, dear God, I can't even take a break yet. Look at that. Iran has confirmed, it looks like, the assassination of Salami. General Rashid, Dr. Oh, holy crap. So it looks like Iran is now confirming that Salami, the head of the IRGC, ended up getting taken out, along with Dr. Tehranchi and Abbasi, whoever the hell those people are, likely heads of their little nuclear infrastructure. All right, so it looks like Israel has hit. This is coming out from Mario Nafel, and sometimes he's a little bit off, saying that Israel has hit 6 military bases and homes of their commanders across Tehran. Israel has attacked at least 6 military bases around Tehran, including the Parchin site. Strikes also hit the homes of 2 heavily guarded compounds housing senior military commanders, along with multiple other buildings across the capital. 4 senior Iranian officials say the operation appears to be a coordinated wave of targeted assassinations. Yeah, no kidding. All stuff that we have predicted over here on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Israel is going to likely do and open up on. Oh, Jesus. Israeli assessment. Iran is likely to launch a first wave of 600 ballistic missiles in its response. Yeah, if that goes down, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break because we are going to be here all night. So I need to go ahead and jump off and take a break before Iran decides to fire those ballistic missiles. Before I do that, here is a fresh image of one of those freaking apartment complexes that ended up getting struck over inside of Iran. I always say I'm going to get off and then I end up sitting here even longer. I don't even know I do that. All right, Rob, I know you're listening right now, brother. I want to let you know that people have been giving you shout outs, telling you congratulations on your graduation and your new career in law enforcement. Texas is a much greater and safer place. Dalton Wilson, Rob, tells you directly, says, congrats on the academy. He's going to be the best dang dirt bag in uniform. I 100% miss his attempts to pronounce Ukrainian cities. You and me both, man. It's kind of lonely over here these days without Rob sitting by my side as I sit here and go through all this stuff. He was really good at like snaking out all these videos and doing all these things, but we've developed a good system to get this information out there for you guys. So, yep, that is the latest and the greatest, that Iran likely is going to fire a wave of over 600 ballistic missiles. Yeah, I mean, a 30-minute break, possibly an hour, depending on what's going on. I do have to eat food, and then I also have to evacuate my system after that. These are normal human functions. You can't expect me to be a damn robot. I got to be able to take a break from time to time. Yep. So salami down. Looks like the president's possibly down, and it can take quite a bit. Spicy salami. Spicy, spicy, spicy. He was killed. Yeah. Congrats, Rob. Great. Appreciate you, man. Hey, I love you, man. I miss you. I'm going to give you a call here in just a minute as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you here in just a